Actually, this probably won't be the last topic. It'll be close to the last topic we talk about today. We'll get around to it because we posted a bunch of stuff for it, and let me tell you, the community was like, "Boo, boo!" And then it happened. They're like, "Yeah, wait, that's it." Okay.
You're like really. Your mic is super crackly.
Is it crackly right now? Maybe it's.
Yeah.
It's probably because I have those two things touching. Remember, kids, don't cross the aux wires. That's a really good hot dog.
I'm gonna prove it tonight.
Mm.
I'll prove it tonight.
Okay.
Bet.
Best hot dogs.
What is better?
A lot of things to talk about. Just trying to get this set up from it.
Diamond dot canvas.
Hmm?
I said diamond dot canvas.
What's Avery talking about in the background?
I'm aware.
What about Diamond Dog canvases?
We're thinking of bedazzling each other's jeans. You remember
What?
bedazzle?
Should I be worried?
Hey,
Yes.
Ed, what are you wearing?
Um,
I know what
No,
you're
it's
wearing.
what? No, it's
Red
what
shirt and
kind of
khakis?
pants- What kind of jeans do you have on?
Yeah,
What kind of
jeans
pants do you have?
khakis.
No, they're Dunkaroos, were they? You guys like.
I'm wearing shorts. It's hot
Wait, hold on.
today.
I want to see the speech. Hold on.
Make sure you're not playing that out loud. I included that link for your benefit.
Yeah, hold on.
Don't play that out loud.
No, it's going through my headset, so you can't hear it. So.
God, I hope not.
But
yeah, that moment where the crowd turns on is one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen, because this whole history of everything has been really crappy, and I'm glad something's being done, and I'm glad there's heroes coming out for the community. That man is clearly not one of them, though. You had your moment to seize upon greatness, and you fucking blew it. Man, all these cards coming out for Core Set 2021 look really good.
Oh wow!
Yeah, hear it?
Wow! 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 That was that. You know when the whole thing was like, oh, that escalated. That de-escalated pretty fast.
Yeah, the crowd clapping until just that one word. Yay! Wait, no!
Every baby does. No, but this.
Oh my god. The fucking ice cream place that is near me on their Facebook, they just put up like this chocolate shake, and it's like, oh my god, I want that right now.
I forgot I have to edit this. Because I'm an idiot. Oh, cool. We could actually probably ask Avery a few things about it, because she's in a couple of these topics for it. So this will be fun and interesting.
Yeah, we can get Avery in here.
We don't have to.
Yeah, there's apparently a few topics that you were, I guess, somewhat involved in.
Well, it's not directly her involved with it. It's stuff to bring it up to it. Because I don't know if you've noticed, my agenda the last 2 weeks has been like super heavy with
Hey, Ed,
D&D stuff. What?
so are you able to invite her to the Discord? She's not in our Discord.
I can. Give me a second for that.
Who else is in our Discord for like this?
For this,
thing?
like
Literally just us.
like literally nobody.
Oh, I thought we had Johnny. I thought Johnny was.
We had Johnny, and then Johnny bailed on us because he's Johnny. Thanks, Johnny.
Yeah, because we tried to do a first podcast with him, and he's like, I'm playing. I don't know what he was doing. He was playing like GTA or Apex. He's like, I'm playing.
I'm gonna take this one real quick, and I'm gonna cut it.
You're lying to me.
Mm.
I'm being a lie too. You are.
Well, you've invited Age, right?
I still can't wait to talk about what we
Hey,
what
don't
we
invite her-
eagerly
don't
waited
invite her
almost
just-
2 hours for today.
It's like an hour and a half, but we were there early, so we waited even longer for no goddamn reason. There we go. There we go. That looks good. So we'll leave it as that from here. You want me to send a thing to Avery real quick? All right, let me go ahead and put this back to here so nobody can see all the weird stuff I'm doing from it. Where's Avery on here? Ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-ba. What the fuck? Who are these people? I haven't. Oh, people are changing their names. Why are people changing their names on here? Okay, that's the AL group. There's Jackie.
Jackie.
Jackie!
Jackie.
One
Oh.
more thing.
One more thing.
One more thing.
Look how little I am.
Invite people. I have a person on here from my AL group who's just colloquially known as Huffer.
I like how people like relating to the. Are we like starting this yet or what? Are we still in the fucking pre-show?
We're in the pre-show.
Okay.
Constantly.
I still like how people, not giving away a future topic that like Ed knows Ed knows what I'm talking about. But
There, she's been invited. She can join now.
Ed,
She can join.
He's been invited.
She's been
but like
invited.
the
She can
people
join.
were like so mad that they like had to wait an hour and a
Oh,
half.
I can't
That was
believe
a-
that thing we have to do is what's
people,
happening.
Or people getting mad that they got like fucking error coded out of the tower. That's probably not.
I saw
Bungie's
somebody who
fault.
did it
That's-
live when it happened. He came right back in as it slammed into the ground. For it, it's like that's cool.
No,
Yeah,
but
like-
people get mad that they get error coded. It's probably not Bungie's fault. It's probably your fault.
God.
Like you probably don't have good internet.
Gosh darn
to have
Bungo.
a stable connection.
Yeah,
Gosh
To have a
darn
stable
Bungo.
connection
How
if you're
could you?
getting error
How
codes.
could you do
Yeah,
that,
but-
Bungo? Gosh
but-
darn it.
but in in a
Did you
jar.
just say
It's like
oingo
you-
boingo?
And people are like, oh, another time zones. I had to wake up at like 3 a.m. Nobody fucking told you had to wake up that early just to see this.
I
You
can't
could've
believe-
Just watched
I
it
can't
somewhere
believe I
else.
woke up for this. Boo.
It's like you didn't really get that much for it. Like I happened to be at home
actually,
at the right time, so I
let me
got it.
turn
And
that
I
off real
wanted
quick.
it, and I got it. Like
I'm gonna go ahead and change your nickname real quick so nobody sees your actual thing. There we go.
Avery, your mic is muted, or if she has a mic, there
There
she is. Avery.
She's just listening to everything. Like, don't
Yeah.
That's
listen.
basically what I do in the podcast.
Don't listen to anything. Just complain. Complain all the time. Words. What do they mean?
What do they mean?
Alright.
Oh, because I lied.
Okay. Let's begin.
Alright, welcome to Online Alive. This is what's us, yeah.
That's how we're opening. I love it.
Yes.
Perfect. We're gonna
Hey,
stick
do the
with that.
thing.
All right. Well,
Hey,
that
do the
was
thing.
Sean. I'm Kate.
My name is
and
Ed. Welcome to Online Alive. We have
We have a guest.
a guest with us today.
Hello.
Please introduce yourself, guest.
No, thank you. My name's Avery.
Hi, Avery.
No, thank you.
We know
She's,
Avery.
she's no thank you. She's like no
She-
thank you. I
She's
Avery.
she's a friend. Hi, Avery. It's okay.
Hello, Ed.
Hello. I don't know what's going on. Good. Let's keep it that way. So we have a lot of things to talk about this week. All of them really kind of just stupid. And I have the links on there for what the basic stuff are, as well as the topics for it, so we don't get confused because we seem to keep going on tangents where like, what the fuck does that mean? Every week
Yeah,
we
it's
do
cool.
this stuff.
It's fair. I think it's fine when we do that because it makes our podcast a little longer and let's enjoy.
It does, but I'd
the
like to
thing-
keep it on topic just a little bit. Not a whole bunch, just a little bit.
It keeps us on this point of somewhat, being. I don't know
Ooh,
how
there's
to
some
say it.
echoing.
What is that noise?
That is echoing because somebody's listening to it live, and Sean's having their mic pick it up as well. From that, I'm assuming that's probably gonna be Avery in the background. Then from there, who's got it going on? That's okay. So
We'll
just-
a little.
we'll just do a little adjustment. It'll be fine. We don't got much to talk about today from it then. But starting topics from it then. Just to start off with it, immediate booing. All right, I linked that video for you guys to watch because it's called. It's essentially just crowd control. I guess is a good way of saying it from there. Then, but I brought it up because I wanted to know your guys' stories about stupid things you've done to have people immediately turn against you for like ideas with it, and I think that highlights it perfectly. Like, yeah, we're all in this together.
None because I don't talk to people.
Yeah. That's turning me against you right now. Bad idea. Bad idea, Kate.
Don't care.
So many stupid things from it then. Talk about that. Talk about back and forth with it. So, yeah, that video of immediate booing from it then. I guess let's just go a little bit into this then. You guys know history of bad comedy acts and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of like people throwing tomatoes at people who they thought were bad up on stage from it then. Show of hands. Can anyone tell me why they did that?
I have hands, but I don't know how to show them.
You can just
because
speak up.
They happened to have them in their hands, or they were nearby in the ye old farmers market, and they just would grab them and throw
All right,
them.
let me rephrase that. What do you know about tomatoes in particular?
They're
They're
red.
tomatoes.
Okay.
No, they're
Technically, yes.
They're
Technically,
both
yes.
vegetables and fruit.
All right. Did you know
Bisexuals.
that tomatoes are a type of nightshade, though?
A what?
Like the plant?
The plant, they're a type of nightshade. You know,
What?
nightshades are poisonous, right?
I
Yes.
thought you were gonna say like an assassin or something.
Well, they tried to throw it into people's mouths to try and kill them. That's what the pelting with tomatoes was. It wasn't them trying to boo somebody off stage. It was them physically trying to kill someone on stage. That's where that comes from. So a little bit of history for it. So I've been booed off stage a few times from it then. No, I'm not going to talk about it because I hate it.
Tomatoes? I love tomatoes.
I love tomatoes. Tomatoes are great. You know it's
Put
better
'em
than
in my
you
mouth
know it's
and I
better.
eat 'em.
Okay, where's this going? Are we going back
I
to
just
food
eat
topics like
tomatoes.
last week?
No, I put tomatoes in my mouth and I eat them. That's how I eat tomatoes. How do you eat tomatoes, Ed?
I
mean,
look at them
that's-
and I
that's
absorb them
technically-
through.
That's technically not uncommon. I have cousins who like just eat tomatoes.
I look at the tomato and then I
don't-
absorb it through
I'm not-
mitosis.
Are you talking about by themselves?
Yeah, like just.
Oh, you know what?
I'll sit there and eat them like apples.
You know what's funny?
Oh yeah,
You
I've
know
had people that I've known people that did that.
You know what? My mom taught me this. If you like slice them and you let them soak in lemon juice.
Let them soak in lemon juice.
Yeah. And then
Why
you eat them like
specifically
that.
lemon juice?
Yeah, just the lemon just gives it like enhances its flavor because it's a little more acidic.
Can you confirm that, or
So-
is that you just making up shit right now?
No, I've done it before. Yeah, put it in lemon and it gives it like a little like a lemony flavor kick to it, to the tomato juiciness.
A little bit of a zesting for it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, jumping from this topic then from here. Something I wanted to talk about, and I brought it up a few times already with it. My life has become Death Stranding to a very weird degree. The more I go into reading stuff about it and other things, the more crap that keeps popping up. So we're going into Sam's Bridges syndrome, which is something I didn't talk about before, but something that I've talked to a doctor about. And apparently I do have. All right. Within the game, this guy has I don't want to say a disease, but he has a type of condition where just touching him like causes him to like break out in bruises and rashes and stuff like that. Like he's physically doesn't want to be touched by
Bones?
people. Not exactly.
Wait, are you saying you have the same disease in real life?
Close. I don't have it to a severe degree as they put it into the game from it, but I do have what is essentially like if something touches me, I have a very violent reaction to it.
Wait, did Sam have this disease?
Sam does have the disease, and part of the theming that goes with it is, he doesn't like to form connections with other people. He physically doesn't like being touched by other people from it, and the whole thing is him bringing America back together as one whole big family, so they can reach out and hug each other. And it's almost to a fucking poignant T right now with all this shit that's going on in America currently. Almost to a stupid fucking degree with it. We have a pandemic going on from it then. My hair looks like fucking Sam from it then. I have the same kind of stupid condition that he has, not as severe with it, where something touches me, like, it causes that kind of reaction freak out with it. I've been offered a job to make deliveries for people.
Oh yeah, you got offered a pizza job, right?
Yeah, not a
No,
pizza
you
job.
have-
I
no,
got
you have
offered
not. You have
a job through the United States Postal Service. Like, outright.
Yo,
Yo,
you're Sam.
I'm Sam.
You need to. This is your destiny.
Is it my
You need
destiny?
to start-
What do I do? My
Build
destiny.
bridges.
Sam Porter Bridges. We need you to deliver these care packages.
You're here to unite America.
I am. Together through me, I can bring America back together by
Go to
something.
Amazon Prime, and then Eddie could deliver all my packages.
I'll deliver them late.
And then you go to Conan O'Brien. You deliver him shit with like the bear suit and whatnot.
It's just one of those ones. It's like it's weird when you see something that you play in a game and be like, I can relate to that, and then events in like the world make it more so. Like, oh god, is something bad gonna happen? Am I gonna get shot? Like, what's going on? And I just find it interesting how those things kind of coalesce all together with it. Going from that, and then like to other games and stuff like that, like playing in D&D from it. Then playing that guy that's bringing stuff up with it, back and forth for it. Man, this guy's really kicking my fucking ass right now in this
But
game.
are you gonna have packages like stacked up like the fucking Leaning Tower of Pisa though?
You know what? I might as well, because I've been drinking like 2 monsters a fucking day for like the last 5 months.
And have to traverse rough terrain trying to balance.
Have
this
you
shit on
seen
your
my
backs.
backyard, Kate? Have you seen my backyard?
Yeah.
Have you seen my backyard, Kate? Is that funny?
Ed just needs to start deficing, and he probably has a big enough ass.
Why is everyone so interested in my ass for?
Well, you gotta remember, Sam. Makes
You
a
ask
bunch-
this every time.
Sam makes what's it called? He makes shit bombs and piss bombs.
Like shit bombs from it then. Okay, so I'm
This
working.
is a legitimate thing.
It's a very.
So if people in the podcast who are not listeners who are unaware about the game, you have the ability to recycle your feces and your piss and use them as lethal bombs
Against ghosts.
against ghosts. It's a legitimate thing.
It's totally a legitimate thing.
And you use bullets. You use blood bullets.
Use bullets with blood in them, or use like globs of blood from it. Like there's different kind of mechanics for it. And then eventually gets to the point where you can just sneak up on ghost and like shank them from it. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff with it.
I forget, what was the shank made out of?
The shank is a little wristwatch knife thing. That's what it is. Kate, what the hell are you watching?
It's like this dude who made like a giant like what are those things called? Those water cooler things with the valves on the bottom. And he puts like it's like a big it's like a big like 5-gallon thing or whatever. And he puts like Everclear, vodka, rum, tequila, like fruits and like orange juice and like a
Tropical. It's a tropical like.
yeah,
punch
like
or
the
something.
tropical punch stuff, and it's called like hunch punch or something like that. And like the way this guy makes it is hilarious
The hunch
because
punch.
the first thing he does is pour the Everclear.
Oh, is
and-
that the video with the really big thing from it? Then he's like, we're gonna just throw some pineapples in it. Ooh.
Yeah, it's like
And stuff like
"Allow
that.
my
Everclear
fruits
from it then.
to-
And he's
my
like, look at
fruits to
that. Nature
marinate in
and we're gonna
juices of
put
hell."
3 jugs of orange juice in it. Watch it. Watch how close
Yeah,
to
here.
the top it gets. Ooh.
Oh, you're talking about the
She knows. She knows.
Yeah,
the-
here.
the
Wait,
alcohol guru, the black guy, right? I know exactly. He's got rings all over his. He's always wearing rings.
Marinates.
This is like even the devil doesn't drink Everclear.
Ooh.
It's too strong. He's like, oh no, homeboy.
Oh no.
Everclear is too strong.
Mm.
Okay. Have we moved on from the first topic? Because I like just
That was
zoned
technically a
out
separate
during that.
topic. Yeah.
I like just zoned out during.
We
that.
moved on to that, and we'll move on to our third
Okay.
topic right now.
So wait, we've gone past the D&D thing?
No, that's where we're going to. The Sam
Okay.
Bridges syndrome was something
So
I
I'm
wanted
like,
to
wait,
bring
did
up
we go
about it
past that
because
already?
I thought it
Like,
was interesting.
I like super zoned out.
Yeah, no, the
during
Sam Bridges
first
thing
topic
was
because I just didn't have anything to add to that.
the Sam Bridges thing was just something I thought was interesting from it then because I've talked to a lot of people that have these kind of conditions from it then. Like, I know a lot of I have a few friends that are autistic from it then that are on that spectrum from it then, and it's one of those ones. Is like, how do you deal with something like that that affects your life from it? I just want to bring that up because I thought it was interesting because everything keeps falling into place from it then. Again, it's like holding up a mirror and being like, "Is this what my life's gonna be?" Oh God, I know how this game ends. I'm gonna get shot. I don't want to get shot. I'm gonna get shot. I don't want to get shot. I think I lost this game. Oof. So the next one we talk about, and one specifically involving Avery, is we're calling lowering standards to learn English.
Lowering Sanders.
Mm-hmm. So, I'm just going to end this right here because I'm done with this. Lowering your standards to learn English. So, when we play D&D, and a few of the different campaigns I've been in, people will come up with a character voice associated with their character. One guy I know does a British voice from it then, who's really cockney. He's not very good at it, but he tries his damnedest for it. And then we have people like Avery, who will play a character who, in the context of the game, doesn't know English and mimics words from it then. And they'll throw stuff at her, so it's like your character can speak in place of everything else for that then. And it's been popping up a bit more and more because I've been playing No Man's Sky with Matt the last couple of days, and we've talked about this for it. In order to learn other languages, you have to go out and find them word by word by word by word by word. Like you don't
Oh
get
my
a big
god,
thing of
that's
them.
so tedious. I like just I know how to navigate the game now, so it's not even an issue anymore.
It's so much fun, to be honest with you. Like, I can't wait for it to come on Game Pass so I can jump between computer and Xbox from it. But I wanted to bring it up because it's something that
You need to get it on PC. So
I
you
think
can
is
play
cool.
with me.
Yeah, I'm going to play with you on PC from it then. But bring it up from here. So, Avery,
I don't
let
want
me...
to get it on the game. I don't want to get it on the Game Pass. I have to do all that shit again because I have one of the living ships.
All the online...
That was such a pain in the butt to get. I don't want to have to do it again.
I can't wait to get it for that then for either of them.
It's a pain in the butt, let me tell you.
I got one of the dork ships, and they're really cool.
Because like part of we'll get to that later, but it's a pain in the butt. I can say that.
All right. So going back to what we were before jumping off to that, because we're going to come back around to No Man's Sky later from it then. Speaking of stuff like that then, so we have Avery here from it then. It'd be a good opportunity to ask her why she would choose something like that for the character to go in depth from it then, because I find it to be something really, really hard. I've played with people through D&D and a few other places where they'll play Kenku who mimic everything from it. And they try their damnedest to get to it, but by day 2, it's usually they've just fucking given up on it, and they're just talking normally and just saying things in third person from it. We have other people in our group that have taken a hiatus for the time being, where they play their character as not having English the first one for it, and it shows. And I think it might be because English isn't their first language either. So, since we have you, Avery, I want to back up a little bit because I think it'd make for a good story from it. Why did you decide to have your character just not know common from it then? Why is the mimicry from that then and trying to slowly learn it as like that second language? Why was that an appeal to you to make your character the way you did?
Well, see, my character,
Because speaking regular English is boring.
It is boring.
yeah. No,
That's
I
basically
thought
how I
it'd be
write my
interesting
stories.
to kind
Most of my
have a
stories don't include humans because being human is boring.
I thought it'd be interesting to kind of have a character who was fairly intelligent and, wise, but didn't quite know common because she, like I said, she grew up in the forest, so it's not a common, thing that she comes across people who are speaking, because she'd always be, hiding out and whatever. And so she kind of just slowly started to learn it by books, and which is why she kind of misspeaks or uses words incorrectly.
Some of them are very funny from it then. How do you think that interaction makes your character better with the regular group then from it? Like how does that create does that create difficulty for you, or does that give you like a good
little
jump
bit,
point?
but it makes it easier that two of the characters know Sylvan, so if I'm too lazy to try and put together a, half-assed English sentence, um,
You could just cheat it.
yeah, I just cheated and I'm like, I say in Sylvan this, because yeah.
All right. Just one of those. I'm trying to think of a good way to do it because, again, like I said, I know a few other people that have their setup for it. Then, like I'm sure you've seen in the chat the mythical Steve we talk about all the time. He plays a Triton fighter, and his first language that he has in the game too isn't common for that. Then isn't English. He speaks like an aquatic primordial, and none of the other players in my campaign have done that for it. His isn't so much. He doesn't have phrases from it. Then he doesn't understand what would be common concepts. He's the funny man of the group would be a good way of saying it. Like he's smart to a degree with it then like he's not stupid, he just acts it. So when you joked about picking up that food from it then, or I should say when Sean did that where they gave him a potato from it then and they're like, here, this is ground fruit for it, and everyone's joking around and laughing because of apple. It's because Steve, when he plays his character, again, he's playing a Triton and he's trying to do it like for that. He's lived his whole entire life underwater from it. Then he comes out to the land. Somebody hands him food from it. First thing is apple from it. All right, cool. Somebody hands him another thing for it, and both of them look almost exactly the same on the inside from it. They must be apples. So now anytime somebody hands him like a tree fruit or something that's grown from the ground from it, then his concept and the joke that he has in game is that that's just an apple. All right. So, like, he reaches in a bag and pulls out an apple, and then he rolls a D20. And he's like, all right, Ed, what did I pull out? That's a turnip. He eats the turnip from it then. He's like, ow, that's a tart apple from it then. It's like, that's a spicy apple. Or something like
dirt
that.
apple.
Actually, potatoes are dirt apples for him, which is great. And it's one of the
Dirt
funniest
apples.
fucking
Oh,
things
God.
for it that we have for it. And I miss him greatly. I want him to come back from it because he's the only fighter we've had in the group, and he does stupid things to people while also doing other stupid things with it, and it plays off good in character, and I like when people do that. So I think you make a good addition, Avery, for the group because it's going to have that dynamic with it, and you've seen it with it going back and forth. That I like to play around with expectations a little bit, but not enough where it's just screwing you guys over, like the liches giving you a big book of information from it. Then it's like that's all that guy does is write shit, so he's going to write as much shit as he
Math?
possibly can. Math.
No, here's the thing. When you guys first introduced me to math, I was like, oh, it's just the actual subject of math. And so when
No.
I said who's math and you guys legitimately introduced me to a character, I didn't expect it to be an actual character. I thought it was going to be like, here, and they handed me a paper and I started doing math.
No.
That's what I was expecting, but it was an actual character, and I'm like,
That-
oh shit.
That was one of the earliest jokes I made. I planned out most of the stuff in the campaign before anyone even started playing. Like, there's a bunch of the friendly liches from it, then the Baelnorns, they're called for it, and I wanted to get a theming for them that I thought was funny, but just enough in character where it's like, yeah, they're easy enough to remember. So they're all over basic subjects from it. So math is one of them. MA, AATH from it. Then we have physics, which is like the homie kind of guru of the group from it then. And then we have science, who I don't think you've met yet. I don't think you've met physics or science from it
I've
then.
seen is it physics?
I don't think you've seen physics.
Well, no, because my first time in game, they were there. Science and physics were there, and math was just I don't know.
Chilling
He
it.
gave me a bunch of books, and now I have hundreds of pounds of books in my bag now.
How are you ever going to carry all of these things? You can only carry 50 pounds of extra weight.
So, hey, Ed.
Yeah.
I just want to explain something real quick.
Go on.
Going on to this bit. Do you remember my bit of the character?
The third person.
Yeah, the third person talking.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a little more to him, or I don't know if you caught on to it, but you remember when you were talking to my character? He's like, I need to pause, and then I talk to you as my character. Is like, oh, it's like, oh, great, this guy's talking to God now. It's like, well, he's just a guy who has voices
In his head.
that talk. in his head that talks to him, and he'll respond to it, but no one else gets what it is. But it's basically the DM asking him questions, and he'll respond to it.
And doing that in character.
Yep.
You know, you're not the first one of the party to do that, and I think some of the other characters caught on to the third person that you're just talking to what would be God at that moment from it. Then, because you got to remember, we've had 3 clerics at a single time in the campaign from it. Most of them talk to their God in character for it. And usually if someone's just like putting their hands up and speaking loudly to like no one, they're just like, oh yeah, he's talking to God from it. Are we all going to die? God, are we all going to die? And there's like no answer back from me for a second. It's like, oh, that doesn't sound good.
I'm listening. I'm like Krieg from Borderlands
Mm-hmm.
too.
It's just
Where
yelling
he's
stuff
like-
from it then, but you have an inner monologue that's like the smart guy from it then.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
scare her. She might be really afraid. Meat slaughter! Oh, way to blow it, jackass.
Fire up the poop duck.
Oh my god.
And I'm the train conductor.
There's so many
Ready
funny
for
things.
the poop.
So many funny things to go with this then. Talk
So,
about.
yeah, because I play as a half giant, I believe. Where I'm just basically Krieg.
Something
I'm
like that.
just-
then. So-
Some insane.
Just
Speaking
running
of
around
that
beating
person.
the crap out of everybody. But you're the second fighter we've had in the group, and you've had that weird kind of quirk with it then. But I want to go back because, again, you two have very interesting characters for the campaign, and it's something that clearly the other players enjoy quite a bit from it then. What was I going to say?
Really
Like,
small.
it brings a specialty to the group that I really enjoy from it then, where it's like common is something that everyone can just got to go, and it's like, okay, we can kind of shorthand and wave everything away from it. But having a specialty like that allows there to be kind of a deeper narrative that's more fun. Like, again, it's joking around, it's like lowering standards to learn English from it then. It's like when you can speak a different language from it then, that opens up more doors. Going back to Steve and his Triton character from it then, his first language was Primordial, and he was the only guy who could read it or speak it or anything else like that. Early on in the campaign, I had them go through a tower where all the insides of it were written in Primordial, trying to tell him what to do. And seeing as he was the only one who could do it, I had it where he's not reading words, he's watching animations play out on the walls for what they want to do. So he has all these like
That
work-
reminds me of like Commander Shepard and like the Prothean stuff.
Yeah, kind of like that then, where the stuff's going out. It's like, I don't understand what's going on from it then. Like, everyone else is seeing, like, lettering and writing, and they can see what looks like a mosaic from it then, but he can read Primordial, and he can see what's going on, and when he starts reading it, he sees, like, these images start moving from it then. It's like, all right, so what do you do? He's like, these images start moving, and, like, telling him to, like, follow them from it then, to, like, flip switches and stuff like that. And having that play out is extremely fun for it, you know? It's like, he's not good at speaking common, but this is the one thing he's good at, and now's his moment to shine from it. It's just great. And I want to see more of that then.
Well, again, we brought, I guess me and Avery brought like, spicy characters to the campaign, and we thought and again, this is my second time doing a D&D thing. It's Avery's 200th time. She's very more used to it. So
She's better than you.
Yeah, she's better than me. Yeah, funny, laugh at bed. Laugh it up. But, yeah, we want to probably make this party a little more entertaining in a sense, because what I've heard before, I've heard the conversations between the DM and the characters between the characters,
And it's just
people,
filling out a
like-
story for you guys, is what it is. Like, you're
Yeah.
playing characters for this then in a world.
Well, no, but you know how I would just join join
You
the
sound
chat.
really far away,
Yes.
Cracker.
I'm using a different headset right now. But, yeah, I listened to the guys' conversation, you guys' campaign, and so I thought it'd be a little entertaining. So I'm kind of excited where this goes.
I got stuff set up for next week. You'll like it.
Even to this week coming up.
Yep, this week coming up. Like last week.
What?
Last week I did
Well-
inventory. I didn't feel good at all until last Tuesday. Like, I didn't do anything. So everyone came up. We just shot shit like, all right, what are your guys' expectations? Because most of you are level 20 right now, and we're doing the prestige for another 5 levels from it. What are you guys looking to do for your levels from it? So I can create 5 more things for you to kind of go for. And like some of the stuff we came up with, like what they want to do. So we have a
I'm sorry.
we have a ranger, We have essentially a pirate lord and a bunch of other things for it.
We're level 20?
No, I think you're level 3, and I think Sean's level 2, if not just barely 3. Who's level 20? Mostly everyone else.
okay.
Oriana's level 20. Kyo, I think, just hit level 20 from it then. Mike's character, Carver, has been level 20 for, I want to say, maybe 4 months now. Maybe since around December from it. And he's straight cleric, so he could just call on his god like once a week to do things for it. It's like, all right, I guess I got to find a way to get you guys out of this situation for it. And he blanked it out on like one of the coolest demons I had set up for it, which really pissed me off. But that's how it goes sometimes. But so yeah, most of them are level 20. I have a capstoning for that, so when they hit 20, they're given at least 3 choices of where they want to go with it. And one of the things we shot was where they want to go. Like, we have generic ones for it. One of I call Paragon, where it's just, hey, you're just kind of cooler than everybody else, and you get this kind of aura that goes up with it. But they were like throwing stuff up. One of the things we came up was Oriana is essentially a boat captain all the way through. She wants to be a pirate lord kind of style for it then. So it's like a swashbuckler superstar of sorts. And one of the abilities we were talking about that sounded really cool was a rip from a fighter ability, and one of the other ones called
Oh my god, I almost thought that was gonna be something else. I'm such a child. Oh my god.
Okay. There's a
Because you said rip, and I was like, oh my god.
rest in pepperonis. No.
Oh my god, I'm such a 12-year-old. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, one of the fighters have one of the abilities in one of their chains called Battle Master that's called Commander Strike. And Commander Strike allows you to forgo an attack action to have one of your party members immediately make one of their attacks for it, which can be really good if you have somebody that does a bunch of damage or needs to kill somebody like right fucking now and you're out of the way for it. And we thought, hey, you are a pirate captain, right? You're beloved by your whole entire crew and everybody around you from it then. Why don't we have an ability where you forgo your action because you do have multiple attacks, the way you have set up, and give everybody an immediate reaction attack just from that. And we call it Rabble Rouse from it. And I thought it'd be interesting it being like on the pirate ship from it. You can see it in the Discord we have for the channel with it, where it's like, yo, are you making fun of the pirate captain? Pirate captain just shrugs his shoulders. Fuck them up, boys. And everyone's just like, ooh. And cool stuff like that. I think we'll have
like the slightest I can relate to this, like at the beginning of the conversation about like why you like choose, you know, more unique characters and stuff like that. You know, I'm more because I write stories, so I guess that's... So one story that actually does like revolve around the real world, but it's like fantasy elements mixed in.
Mm-hmm.
How I make it not boring. And then the other one is like a whole I took elements from like ESO and then just sort of fucking together and then just made up a continent, and that's
how most of them start, and then you just keep filling it in with details as you go along.
Yeah, and I've made like characters and like I made like the main character, some details and characters, and I described like the races and like.
What does this character represent as a blankety blank from it then? Is there any particular point to it then? No,
well,
I just like the way they look.
The more fantasy based one is, well, you don't play ESOs.
I don't play ESO, but I play a bunch of other stuff from it. I mean, I have like 2-3 D&D games a week from it then. Like I have all these different stories collecting at the same time from it then. My Tuesday campaign is stuff I make up from it then. But I pull stuff from other places from it then. Like essentially one of my dragons is Parthenax.
Okay. So like the two races that exist on this continent that I made up is one are just like basically like the high elves from like, you know, the ESO universe, and then the other race, you know, both like main characters come from like each race, and then the other race that I pulled from ESO are called the Lamia. I can't remember how it's pronounced.
Lamia. they're like half people, half lions with wings and stuff like that, almost like sphinxes.
No. They're basically like they're kind of like Naga, like the serpent people, except they're not
Naga.
like half snake, half human. They're like all snake,
Okay.
but
All
like the upper
people.
half still looks like a person kind. Here, I'll
So like a Gorgon
an image.
almost. I guess a good way of saying it.
So wait,
no,
we're
not
talking
really. Here,
Nah.
I'll look up an
We're,
image.
we're
It's
talking
easier
about
to.
right?
Just post a picture of it to the chat in general.
We're talking about ESO here, right?
Talking about ESO, I guess. Oh. Nobody saw that. You trying to pull it up, Kate?
So, Elder Scrolls Online. That whole bit takes place before any of the Elder Scrolls events.
I'm not sure. I thought it took place afterwards, but I'm not sure.
Okay,
No,
my
no,
Wi-Fi
it
just
happened-
dropped out, so hold on, let me
It
get
happens
back.
before everything. I believe it's during the second era.
Yeah, ESO. I'm pretty sure it is.
Because they said it was during the same before everything that ever, and it's in the second era because if it happened in the first era, it wouldn't make any sense why a bunch of magic users out because there's magic school magic thing that divided to what magic. Why it's
Magic.
second era. Yeah, so
If you can't explain it, magic.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
That's-
basically.
that's like DC where
Okay,
it's
here,
like
I'm gonna
if you
throw
don't
it in the
explain it, it's
general.
just-
This is what this is like more concept arty of the Lamia, but that's basically what they look like. That's like one kind. They look like
So-
that.
So we're gonna talk about
Yeah, like Naga Gorgon people.
Well, they're not. Well, I guess
that's
I would just count them as like snake people.
yeah snake too, but they give like that snake person titties for some reason.
Well, 'cause
What is this,
it's their-
XCOM now?
Well, no, the Lamia they don't have any gender, like they're all female. So
They're all female.
yeah, it's like an exclusive.
How do they
like,
reproduce?
Well, according to in-game lore, they do like lay eggs, but to me it just sounds like like chickens. They probably just like fucking lay eggs.
They just
like,
lay
every
them down
year or
like
some shit.
chickens.
They're-
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
You know how chickens are born, right?
they just periodically lay eggs, and they do worship like a god called like the Egg Mother, which is referenced.
I
in
don't
certain
like
quests.
this at all. Where this is going.
You know
I mean,
what's
I always
funny?
thought they were cool looking, so I like
You
them.
remember when I told you I was a farm boy and I worked with chickens, and I remember I had to take the chickens away, and I would like get them from the cages, and I would put them in the.
Is this going to become a Silence of the Lambs bit? Is that what's going on here?
No. It was just funny because I remember families like, "Why did you take their chicken away? Their egg away?" That was because they just
We're
They're
going
not
to eat
fertile.
the chickens.
people always they're not fertile. They're been in cages. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, they're not fertile eggs. How do you fertile? How does the egg get fertile? What do you mean? How does the egg get fertile? It was just a whole bit. What do you think happens? And what came out of it is they assumed that the chicken or the rooster fucked the egg to get it fertile.
I don't know where that was going, but let's move on.
The average person doesn't know how. Hey,
Average person doesn't know how chickens are made.
yeah,
What happens to
came
chickens?
first? The
All right,
chicken or the egg?
let's move on
Kate,
to
what
the
happened
topic
first? The
that.
chicken or the egg? You know what? Kate, when you eat eggs,
Why don't you
Do you-
like get closer to your microphone? You sound like 50 feet away.
Alright, anyway, Kate, do you put salt on your eggs when you like cook eggs?
Like well, actually
Oh my
no, I
God.
really don't. I mean, it can
Kate.
like occasionally if I have like a
Kate.
hard-boiled egg, I'll throw like a
Kate.
little bit of salt on it. But eggs in general, like I don't need any more salt.
Anymore? There's no salt to begin with. What do you mean?
Well, the eggs have a good enough flavor. I don't need to put salt on them. I'm not trying to freaking, you know.
I remember we had this conversation where like eggs.
Drown your food in salt.
Yeah, I'm not someone who
Well-
drowns their food in salt. Like I don't put salt literally almost on like anything.
You don't
'cause
put
to me
anything on
stuff has enough
anything.
flavor.
Seasoning.
What's that, burger?
Seasoning.
wait.
Oh, we're not doing more
Season-
burger.
Bar-
No, let's just move on to the topic that me and Ed want to talk about. So.
Yeah, I really want to talk about it. I'm going to put a clip for it
Sponsored
later
by
because,
Doritos.
like, the highlights for it was like nothing's happening. Oh God, it's happening. Has been like
I
verbatim
remarked
what's
that
been
Sean
going
was
on
gonna be like extremely, be like, why do you waste your time with that game?
because
Like,
it's cool.
Oh
Why do you waste
my
your time
God.
with
So
the game?
let
Because
me-
cool shit like
let-
this happens. So
Okay, explain to me.
I want to
explain
introduce
me-
I want to introduce this topic. So like they were hyping up, the Almighty's gonna get destroyed, yada yada yada, and
the
Rasputin's
whole
gonna
point
do
of
it.
this season.
And Rasputin's gonna do it, and Bungie was like, all right, 1 p.m. Eastern,
Be
have
there
it
or
in the
miss
tower,
out.
Fucking be there in the tower, like right then it starts, which actually was true. Like it did start like on that daily reset, but
It did. We just didn't realize it was going to take an hour and a half.
yeah, it
to
took like an
progress the
hour and
whole
a half
fucking
in total.
thing.
It was a little too long, but in the end, it was worth it in my mind to me, because like it happened in real time. Like you could see shit happening if when you sat there and watched. It was pretty cool, albeit
Can I ask something?
probably a lot slower than it needed to be.
Sure. What do you want to
So
ask?
eventually, it's like when
Right,
the
yeah,
reset
you said Rasputin
happened.
blew up the tower, right?
No.
No.
Rasputin blew up the Almighty.
Mhm.
That was like right in our faces. So anyway,
Who's Rasputin again? He was just an AI that was built by the Russians.
no, he's way more sophisticated than that. But anyway, so
Sorry,
you look up towards the sun, and the Almighty is literally right there, and it's so close. Like when 1 p.m. Eastern hits, you can like see it get like a little closer, and then about half an hour goes by,
Mhm.
and me and Ed are like, all right, what's happening?
Is it
So,
getting
like-
bigger or anything else like that? I'm looking around. I went
But,
back over the footage of it too. I looked directly at that stuff and didn't say shit. About 5 minutes before I actually like said something and noticed it.
But then, it was actually like a pretty suspenseful build up, because we were all like looking at it. And we were like, oh my god,
we're all
what's
going
happening?
like,
Something's
okay,
happening.
wait
And
for Rasputin to blow this thing up, and then 20 minutes go by, nothing's happened. It's like, oh god, did he abandon us?
And then 30 minutes starts to go by, and I'm just sort of walking around so I don't get like,
Kicked.
defaulted to like being booted for inactivity. And then all of a sudden I hear Ed go, he goes, look, and I'm like, where? He goes, up on the right.
Where?
And I was like, he goes, look, he goes, Kate, look. I'm like, where? Look where? What's happening? And he goes, look in the upper right. And there's like little red
Little
Japanese
tracer,
missile streaks.
yeah, little tracers
the
of like
sky.
missiles on their way to go blow this thing up.
And then
And we're like, oh, it's gonna happen soon. And then nothing happened for like 30 minutes. These things are just flying through the air. slowly.
So the only thing you see for actually a good while is just that one, big cluster of red streaks heading towards it. And then about
A half hour
20 or
after the
so more
fact,
minutes later,
another bunch of streaks
another
come from the
cluster of
other side of the
streaks.
screen.
And then I wasn't paying attention again, and Ed goes, "Oh my god, look, there's another group of them." I'm like, "Where?
Where?
And he goes, "Open the bottom left."
You were getting so
And then
excited.
I see them,
saying
and then
it.
you gradually see them, both groups of missiles, like moving up towards the Almighty. We were like, "Oh my god, it's gonna be attacked in 2 spots."
The whole time I
we're-
thought like a third set of them was gonna go streaking over our heads.
Oh, I know.
And it
then,
never happened.
Another like 10 or so minutes went by, and then the missile hit, obviously, and you could see all these little like bright dots, explosions, basically, go all across the Almighty. So we were like, "Oh my god, the missiles hit! Like it's happening!" And then
It's happening.
more time goes by, and then more explosions start to show up, and then more explosions show up again later, like a little bit later in like the center of the Almighty. And then about another few minutes later, the explosions just become more and more numerous. And then we're like, "Oh my god, it's happening!"
I remember the exact thing.
And then we
I remember
both-
the exact thing you said from that. Then it's like, I don't know. Is this all of it? I'm like, oh my god, Kate, look! And she's like, oh, it's happening. That was exactly what happened.
and then when it finally like blew up and stuff happened, I was like, Ed, like it's happening. We were
Whoa!
like, whoa! and then the whole shebang, like it blew up, flames, smoke, and then debris like flew over our heads. It was really cool, and you could hear like people, the NPCs, like screaming in the background. It was actually pretty interesting. And then the sky got bright.
Yeah, the NPCs are all looking at this thing slowly falling out of the sky.
Like Zavala's looking at it.
It finally blows up. You hear screaming as all the NPCs run like 35 feet and turn right to look where the thing's about to fucking impact the whole entire time for it.
So basically, the sky gets super bright, and then after the big flash, the sky's kind of red, and then just this big giant, flaming wreckage goes streaking across the sky. And then and then eventually it doesn't land like close. It crashes like way off in the distance, but you can see where it crashes from the tower. So it crashes, there's another big explosion, and then there's a shockwave, and you can hear the shockwave like coming, because it's a huge shockwave, and you can hear it coming and building up. It's like, woo, and then it actually like comes towards the tower and like knocks people back. So you get like real knockback when you're standing there. And then because it's such a huge shockwave, I had like stereo headset on, and you become, like after a loud noise, you become like tone deaf, and there's like the ringing in your ear. And me and Ed were like mesmerized the whole time. We were like, whoa.
How could you not be? That was so goddamn cool.
It was for the long time that it took, but it was kind of too long. But in the end, it was really, really, it was super cool to see in the end, because nothing like that had happened before.
No.
Like it was worth the wait in my mind, even though some people were like, so there we go. I really wanted to talk about it.
I know I did. Because everything they've teased, everything that's come out this season.
I'm definitely gonna come back to Destiny, on the 9th when the season comes out, because it looks cool. I mean, it looks like there's cool stuff to do. So
I mean, there's enough stuff that's been teased for it too that's come out from it, which again is the joke sponsored by Doritos.
I do like the people in the tower. Zaval is cool. Shax is cool. And all those people are cool. But if they give me a chance to be like, hey, do you want to side with the Drifter? Bye. I'm like, darkness. Here I come.
We've talked about this before.
I want to be with budget Matthew McConaughey.
you're gonna talk about this. You're just gonna talk
all right.
You know the game. It's doo-doo. I just don't like this.
Well, I enjoyed the story.
Avery liked my story.
Yeah.
Thanks, Avery.
We got somebody on our side.
I was so excited.
I guess I'm the only one
that,
here.
it was such a cool thing to happen, because it was like their first live thing, and you could see shit happening up in the sky. And like every time something happened, we were like, "Whoa, something's happening!"
Like there's so many cool things in one.
Right?
Okay.
Is that what happened?
So that's about that. I don't know if you want to move on to the next one or what.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the only other thing is, after how kind of bad this season was with just wanting to rehash everything, like the intent of the Dorito ships coming in and that kind of cap off to the end of it. Well, that's what they are. There's giant triangles on their way from it. It's like, I'm not angry at anything. It's just, yeah, all right. Let's get around to that thing
yeah,
that I really want to do.
I've always liked Destiny, just not this particular season, because it just wasn't that
There
great.
wasn't like much to it.
All right, let's move on.
Houston, I made a boo-boo, which is in reference to Johnny Bravo, of all things, from it. So, I don't know if you heard the news or anything at all, but I'm a big fan of the Kerbal Space Program game. Like, a really
I
big
almost thought
fan.
you were going to talk about like SpaceX or something.
No, fuck Elon Musk. He's a total fucking piece of duty from it. But specifically with that is apparently the publisher from it pulled the studio off of it and was trying to fire everybody and rehire everybody back to keep working on the game. I guess they did some kind of weird shenanigans with
Wait, what game?
Kerbal Space Program 2.
Oh.
Apparently they tried to do some weird shenanigans with it where they tried to be like, oh, here's all this crap from it. with it. So we're going to take your whole entire team off and fire them. So sorry about that then. You're no longer working on the game. But we do have job opportunities at this other studio. Okay, what's the other studio doing?
Is this like a
The
skin
same
paper
game.
thing or something?
No, I guess they had some kind of weird negotiation thing going on with them talking about like getting a higher pay for it then. And I guess it fell through, and 2K thought it would be an awesome idea that rather than continue on that way with it, they were just going to fire everybody and then like force them to have to come back and do stuff with it, which is absolute fucking trash of a thing to do to people. So that happened.
TJ, I think, made, no, I'm thinking of THQ, or THQ, that made a SpongeBob game.
The only games that I remember from like THQ Nordic are like Darksiders, and then no, I don't think that was THQ. Was Red Faction THQ, or was that a different?
Red
studio?
Faction was THQ. Red Faction 2 was also
Red Faction was THQ.
It was THQ for every single one of them, and I think that was one of the last games they made before they went under and got eaten up by Deep Silver from it. Then
but then they came back to make like the next to make Darksiders 3. I think they came back as like just THQ Nordic instead of just THQ.
well, that was a split off of the studio. That was the compromise for it.
Yeah, and they made Darksiders 3, which is a good game though. A little difficult for me, but good game.
Is what it is.
So what's with like? I'm interested in like the worthless cryptocurrency, which basically what it's always been for me.
Intangible goods are literally worthless. I think says everything from it. We had talked about people doing cosmetics and games and stuff like that then from it, and I made the point a while ago that if you can't physically touch it, it has no fucking value to it. And it's one of those ones that, you know, with the battle pass that's going on and a few other ones with it, that it started to come more and more that people don't want to do that all the time with like grinding crap out and a bunch of other crazy shit with it then. So cryptocurrency is taking a fucking nosedive right now, which is hilarious in my book. But also there's a bunch of other things that are going on that people just don't want to pay shit for because it's like, this is stupid. It's like one of the fucking stupidest things I could see right now. What are you guys doing for it? And just examples of things that are going on for it then. Like we play Apex, we like getting free shit from it then. We don't like paying for that stuff from it, and we especially don't like paying for stuff that doesn't do anything but make cosmetic changes for it. All right? We had I want to remember who I argued with about it, but they were like, yeah, all this stuff has like values for it. Like you remember when they were talking about Team Fortress 2 and like a bunch of other things for them. Yeah, like the hat economy that had come out from it then. They're like, oh man, you could buy hats, you could buy these items and stuff like that. It's like, oh, that's so cool. What do the hats do? Nothing. All right. How much are they selling for? Tens of thousands of dollars. All right. What happens if the game dies? Your money is thrown away into a big fucking hole.
Well, you gotta remember, not only is the hat, that with the game. Where here's the thing is, Team Fortress 2 for as long as it's been out, since CS:GO is still pretty big in today's world. For the skins for the
it is still really big for it. Like there's no fucking lie about that. It's still extremely big. But again, it's one of those ones. It's like you guys are buying goods that have no actual value to it, and you're giving a price point to it from that. Then you can't touch these things. When the game gets turned off online, you can't take it with you. You're putting all this money into a bunch of artificial shit, hoping that it'll accumulate some kind of value from it. Then, and there's no value there.
Is this like the TF2, like the stacks of hats?
Yeah, like stuff like that. Like I have all this stuff.
Like
I have my future invested for me because I have all these particular hats for. And it's like, you can't keep any of that stuff from it then. That stuff doesn't have any value. All you're doing is taking that shit and pushing it off to some other jackass who doesn't understand how fucking intangible goods work for it. And seeing all this stuff go on with like the real world and seeing like cryptocurrency just like taking down, it's like, oh man, I should have sold it like 10 months ago when it was like $20,000. Now it's like $500. It's like, it's not worth anything for it. Like you guys have put an arbitrary number value onto it and let an invisible market dictate how much this shit is actually worth for it. And that invisible market is just you guys shuffleboarding garbage to other people, seeing who will buy it for the most amount of money from it. Then, like again, it's intangible
See,
goods.
that's why I never bother with that kind of stuff, because to me, it's always been worthless.
Like
so.
if you got into it early and on from it, then it's like you find a sucker to just pawn this shit off to, you can make fucking millions from it then, and people have done that. But it's like I remember maybe a year or so ago, like they had 3 different cryptocurrency places pop up here in little store shacks from it. Then like, yeah, we'll buy your stuff and give you like tens of thousands of dollars from it then. And like each one of them went out of business the same fucking week that they started up from it then, because they were hemorrhaging fucking money and couldn't sell that shit off for a goddamn fool at all. It's like, yeah, this is transferable data that has timestamp for it. It's like, cool. What does it do? Nothing.
No.
All right. How do you sell it? You find somebody who wants to buy it. Cool. Why would they want to buy it? And that's where the line of this all stops off from then. Like it's code information and stuff like that, timestamps. Like, yeah, the government doesn't have any kind of say over it. Yeah, you're right. But, you know, the thing about the government is your money's backed by gold for it then. You can take that dollar and trade it in for like $1 worth of gold. Granted, it's going to be like a sliver nugget from it then, but you can always get that. It has that tangible value to it. Numbers and code don't have that stuff from that. And the way the technology is going, where we're going to start quantum refracting for information, stuff like that, where like data bits can be encoded inside other ones from it, then your information doesn't mean dick anymore from it. And moving away from that kind of cosmetic feel from it in games and stuff like that, where people are trying to sell these things for actual dollars. Like, for $10, you can have this in-game hat, and it's like nobody's buying that. All right, you can see it in like the Eververse for like Destiny and a bunch of other places. Yeah, but a lot of people are idiots too. Like you have $20 to throw away. I don't have a budget for it, but this is what I'm talking about though. Like you have
the demographic is that you go for idiots. You remember the $200 game on Steam I told you about?
Yeah,
That has one level. And that's it.
It has one level. There's nothing for it, and the review is don't buy this game. It's duty.
Yeah, but there's actual people that bought that game.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're still getting paid of money, even with one person buying it.
But it's a scumbag, scammy thing to do, is what I'm saying from it.
It is a scumbag, but people know it's a scumbag. They don't care about it. It's why it gets some money.
No, the people that buy into that don't know that shit though. From it at all.
Yeah, they did.
Majority of them don't. I can almost guarantee you, most people that buy into that kind of crap from it don't know that shit. Like you talk to kids who like buy V-Bucks for skins and stuff like that. What does that change about Fortnite?
Kid, you gotta look good to play good. Man.
Cool. What does that do at all for the game though?
For the game? Oh, you mean there people argue it makes you put more money into the game because you're supporting the developers.
And that would be something like a battle pass for it then. All right? Like, hey, I want to buy more content from it. You guys made more stuff. Here's money from that then. You've made this then. Here's me supporting your endeavors for that then from it. It's not, hey, check out this cool new hat you have from it then. It's $15. Cool, what's the hat do? It looks funny. I don't know. I see a problem with what it is with it.
There's always a problem.
Well, no, again, it's like if it's something intangible like that. Like one of the reasons I like buying disc games is that I have a physical copy of it. If something happens where servers get shut down or something else like that, then I still have the physical game to play. All right. If I don't want it anymore, I can sell it to someone else who might want to buy it. It's going to be a decreased value from it then because it's not in demand, but it'll still be there to sell.
Do you remember the physical copies for Fortnite, like the actual Fortnite game?
There is, and the physical copy for them tell you to download the game.
Well, they sell the physical copy for like $500.
Yeah, the physical copy for that then is literally just a basic install for it because you still have to update everything from the online. Like the big draw of it is you have a disc for it, so you can install it offline before you go to the online, and it comes with V-Bucks already on it, so you can buy a hat. Yeah. You can buy a hat.
That's why all these like free to play games, I don't put a lot of money into it. I tried to put. Yeah,
but this is my bigger thing though. Even playing with Apex, like we buy the battle pass for those kind of rewards to get the cool shit at the end, because that's the only way to get it. You can't just buy them.
Every time you play, you regain the coins because they give you like like 10 or 100 gold. So you could use that to
But again, that's what I'm talking about. That's the draw to bring it into it then from there. Like it's a new thing for the content. I'm buying that battle pass for it to reward them for it. I'm not buying the cosmetic stuff from it because it's only for me. It's an intangible good that you can't touch All right. And it makes even less sense when you buy this stuff and you're the only person that can have it. You can't trade it with anybody else. It's not worth any fucking thing. All right. It's a neat hat. What does the hat do? Nothing. All right. What does the battle pass do? It does a few other kind of things. It gives me a free things if I work towards them. And I have like the dollars and everything for it. And I can maybe buy one of these hats for it, but I didn't buy the hat outright for it.
I get you.
Yeah. And that's pretty much that topic for it then. I think if you're playing a game where the unlockables are only for you, you can't trade them from it, you shouldn't really need to buy those kind of things for it. That should be something that you work towards from it. And if it is something you can trade with other people from it, there shouldn't be a monetary value attached to it.
So speaking of like those things, have you ever heard a story about the guy who's like invested, I think 1.4 million on like a character online? I think it was a game called like Justice Online or something like that.
I think it was like Effigy or something like that. It was one where he spent like a couple million for his own in-game private island kind of thing to be built.
Something like that. But then like at a certain point, he lent the account to a friend, right?
Oh, you're talking about Eve. You're talking about one of the space heists from it then, where the
Eve
guy
Online?
Eve Online has so many stories of this, which is another one too. Buying intangible goods in Eve Online is only ever going to make you regret playing the game fucking ever. Where they went in, the guy
like
had a bunch of
battles that have
friends.
gone on for, like, literal
They got one of the
days.
big fucking ships from it then for everybody's stuff. He's like, all right, I'm going to be out for a few days from it then. Can you manage everything? As this guy's worked up the ranks like a year and a half for it. He's like, sure, buddy, no problem. I got all this. He took all the guy's information. He made himself the head of the company. He took everybody's shit that's been accumulated, kicked everybody out of the company, made everybody else just fucking nothing, took all their shit, loaded it into a ship, sent it out to the middle of goddamn nowhere. No one's found it yet up to this point from it with a message that says, haha, suckers, come find me. Right? Was that about what you're going to say, Sean?
No, there was another story about a guy who spent like on the character for like one. Then again, there's probably like tons of stories, but like a guy spent 1.4
Eve has the
million on
best
his
fucking
character,
stories for this shit.
and the guy who like his so-called friend that like got his account, right, tried to ransom it back, right, and I think he tried to get like $50,000, but I guess he made
That sounds like Eve.
and he made a mistake and he put it on a list for $500, so he got bought. So he got bought by a third party like group, and so the guy who
I like where this is
originally
going.
owned it
Not gonna lie.
was getting the guy who originally like owned the thing was like, you know, he spent like $1 million. Like
Oh, I can't believe you've done this to me.
Yeah, he spent like, I don't know why he spent a fucking million or something. But he spent like $1 million, $4 million for this one character,
Mm-hmm.
and then they had a whole lawsuit thing where he's like, I'm suing my ex friend and the actual business, the company that runs the game, and they made a settlement where the company refunded him his like millions of dollars, and then they had the guy who's selling the thing for $500. He had to pay like $12,000 or something like that. So he got fucked. Yeah, online shit is crazy.
Again, that's why I don't suggest buying any fucking thing online.
No, well, I like physical things. Show me the Carfax, you know.
What kind of pants are you wearing? Khakis? Yo, do they ask you what kind of pants you're wearing? All the time. Are you wearing khakis?
Okay, so I'm assuming the next topic was the thing you were talking about earlier.
Oh, yeah, because and I feel bad for him too, because this happened, like, we got the notice for it immediately afterwards. I've been trying to get into No Man's Sky ever since they updated it a while ago from it. And more or less what had happened is Matt's like, hey, I want to get this game from it then. If I get it for you, will you play with me? I'm like, yeah, but I don't really want you to buy it for me, kind of thing. He's like, oh, but it's on sale. And I'm like, I don't feel right about that. He's like, too late. And he bought it for me. So I downloaded it. I'm like, great, I got No Man's Sky. And I'm looking through for a bit there because I'm like, I don't know how to get started in this whatsoever. Tell me more things that need to go on and everything else. And I go online, and the very first thing is It's June 1st. Notification. Finally, No Man's Sky is coming to Game Pass. And I'm like, hey Matt, I got some bad news. He's like, what? No Man's Sky is coming to Game Pass. Oh, cool. When? Like next week. Oh. Was like how it came out. Was and it's like I feel so bad, but at the same time it's like, yeah, should I?
It's not your money.
I don't feel. It's like I feel bad, but not that bad.
It's not your money. It's not your money. You're fine. Also, fuck you.
So we're trying to get people into it, but one of the things we did was apparently I have the devil's luck when it comes to pretty much every game I play. Son of a bitch, he keeps blowing up my guys.
What would that be? What's the devil's luck?
Well, all right. So Matt is a guy who's been playing it, and he's been doing it almost freaking nonstop for it, just collecting materials and stuff like that to build bases. And he's been giving me a bunch of shit to help him, to help me out getting started for it. And so eventually got to the point where it's like, I need to get a new ship for it. Not only do I find a new ship, I found a really good new ship, an A-class right off the bat. Like, it's busted up and everything else like that. And we'll just call it the dork ship because it's fucking funny as shit looking, right? We go ahead and get that all set up from it then. And Matt's like, well, it's about time for you to get a freighter. Did you go to get a freighter sometime soon? I'm like, whenever it shows up for it. I've been looking around for it back and forth. Let me know when you find a freighter. I'm trying to upgrade mine from it then because I got a dorky. I have a dorky C-class from it then.
I always end up getting. I ended up getting like my first freighter like for free.
Yeah, everybody gets their first freighter free. All right, the first freighter I ran to was on his side of servers when we were playing online, and it was like 48 million. I'm like, I don't even have 8 million for it then.
I got lucky because me and Carl both bought the game at the same time so we could play together.
Uh-huh.
And when obviously, like you said, you get your first freighter for free, but then Carl, when they added like the social space or whatever, he said he went into the social space one time, and like some dude gave him these items that are worth like 25 million each, and he gave me a couple of them. So I sold them and got I built up like just a ton of money. That is
almost exactly what happened to me in
and
verbatim.
Then I ended up and then I was basically I had people give me like a void egg when I was looking for my living ship. Like, it was great. And then and I was able to build up enough money to buy like a freighter that had like a ton of. I now have a freighter that has like a ton of slots, so I store like a bunch of shit in there.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you the next question, because the first freighter I got, which pissed Matt up to no end because he was trying to find a better one, I have an S-class freighter that I call the Big Bird. All right.
Oh my god, my freighter is like my freighter looks like a city. It's crazy.
Mine has like 4 set of testicles on it. It's the coolest fucking thing.
I'm gonna see if I can find like a picture of the freighter, because I know like you can. It looks like a city. It's fucking hilarious how big it is.
Yeah, there's so many cool things that are going
on. I don't know how to spell freighter, so I'm just gonna let Google interpret my words.
So my first freighter is an S-class Rabbit that has a lot of really good stuff for it, and he got super duper pissed.
And I've seen some like massive ass freighters. Like, these things get fucking huge. Right. Like, I've seen mine's more of like a. I don't know how, it's more like horizontal shaped. It's not like one of the flat ones. Mm-hmm. I've seen like the big, huge dude. Those things are fucking massive. They're giant.
They're so big.
Okay, here. I found the freighter that looks like mine, but it's not the same color.
Yeah, we'll bring that up in a second from that, because I wanted to bring it up again, going back with this for why that name is that from it.
Here, I'm gonna send it here. Hold on.
So I only got that freighter like 2-3 days ago from it.
So this is that my freighter is one of these ones, but it's not that color. It's like black or dark blue. I can't remember. I also only have like 2 ships in my fleet, because I don't fucking care to buy ships, because I just use my freighter for storage. I also don't have the money to buy ships either, so.
I don't have the money to buy things. That's okay. We don't.
I have like a support ship and like a research ship, and that's all I have. Or no, I have like a trade ship or something.
something.
I lit- I
Regardless of
literally
which,
don't-
there's a lot of stuff that's going on
So
with
yeah.
it.
is your like space like battles? Do you like fight space stuff?
Cracker,
Yeah.
you sound like 50 feet away again.
Yeah, you do fight stuff from it that I've had please from it, and we'll come up to it more. But when I take a look at it from it, that so again, getting all this devil's luck from it, I ended up landing on a planet. Yeah, I ended up landing on a planet, an extreme planet of ice from it. Which
Oh, that's where you get those storm crystals. Those are worth a lot.
okay, so you know what storm crystals are, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I've purposely like
That planet
don't
is
have-
fucking littered with them. Like
oh yeah, all extreme planets.
no,
are.
no. I mean, like I have a base set up from it, and you walk out in a blizzard, and there's like 10 of them just lined up for it. You go another 50 feet, and there's another one from it. Then I landed on that planet, found the first one. I'm like, oh, this is something Matt was talking about. I better go collect these for Matt. Went to go see how much they were worth, and I'm like, sell them all.
Yeah, they're worth a lot. I also take point to mark planets that have good deposits of ancient bones.
Yeah.
'Cause depending on what you find,
I have
ancient
that.
bones go
I
for a
have that
lot,
too. So one of my starter systems is just loaded with fucking ridiculous goddamn things for it. Then, like you just look at it, you'd be like, "What the
Yeah.
fuck did you run into, Ed? What kind of luck do you have?" This planet is nothing but storm crystals. This planet is nothing but all this other really cool shit from it.
See, one of the planets that I can take like a portal to that I've like screenshotted the address to, which it's like a planet where it's to get like upgrades for the living ship, you have to like find the like big void egg anomalies in space, and you have to shoot them, and they give you an upgrade.
I had a cool run in the other day with something. We'll come back around to it, but
Yeah,
I
have one too.
That is
So,
the reason this place is called that. All right.
But
Why-
it's the planet that you land on is a toxic world, and they have like toxic storms.
Yeah.
And then when storms come out, all
Matt's
the storm
big base
crystals come
one.
out.
Matt's big base one is on a place that is always in the middle of a fucking nuclear holocaust. From it, then, like I've never seen that storm stop, and I've been on his planet for fucking hours helping him build shit for his base. That planet's never not just like Fallout at its worst for what it is. And he's like, I don't understand what's going on. I don't see a storm outside at all. And I'm like, Matt, like there's mutant like freakazoids walking outside your place right now. From it, that he's like, I don't see anything.
My favorite planets are the ones that have like the big like massive creatures. I've seen people like still, you know how you can ride creatures and everything? I've seen people ride those creatures, and I can't figure out how to do that.
You feed them, and if they're big enough, you can ride them.
They're like
You make food.
you.
You make food pellets for them. You like walk into them and be like, feed them for an opportunity from it. Then
No,
it's
but
just
it doesn't even give you a button prompt because they tower above you.
there's so many cool things about that. My first one had a bunch of these ant-looking things that had like squid bodies that are really cool. Like I have.
They look
I have
weird
these
jellyfish, but they're on land.
No, like I have these animals that look like fucking mushrooms walking around from it then with tentacles, and they're the coolest goddamn things from it then. They're like mushroom crabs.
I have ones that look like big like giant crabs with like jellyfish like insect legs.
My favorite one I've run into, and the only way to describe it is a sentient blueberry from it. It's a big ball with 8 eyes, kind of like a spider.
I'm not surprised.
And it's got like it's got leaves growing out the top of it. And you know how it gets around, Kate? You know how this thing moves?
It like slops around.
It
or whatever.
it like slops and bounces around. It's like here's the noise it makes. Boink, 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 boink. The cutest fucking thing I've ever seen in a fucking video game. And that was the first goddamn planet I landed on.
My favorite, my other kinds of favorite worlds are like the worlds where you can sometimes get those like funky like glitch decorations that you can put in your face.
that was the second one I have on there.
I've come across
when it comes to Game Pass, we gotta play each other's worlds from it then, just to show the cool shit that's in between them, because there's cool things. There's so many cool things on the planets.
I've come across one that's called a calcified world, and they look like I don't even know what the heck. I don't know how to describe these things as. They're like big like calcified like balls, but they have like little protrusions on them, and they're all filled with holes.
Have
you
you
can, like, see through them?
Have you run into like the living energy balls that'll talk to you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those are pretty cool. The malfunctioning robot worlds are great.
And they have like the and like the organisms that are on these planets look like all these big calcified balls on these planets, and they just roll around.
They're so cool.
And
Like
then
I want to get
the
into
other
it because
ones,
there's
the
so
other
much more
kinds
cool
of
shit with
worlds
it.
that are like really weird to me are the ones that are like a mixture of like organic stuff that looks like technology.
I think the coolest one I've seen that wasn't directly that was a planet where all the plants were rocks from it then, and
Yeah.
the only living thing onto it was a sentient ball of, not a sentient ball of light, but a sentient geyser that was moving around. Like
Yeah,
it's just
I've seen
shooting
those.
beams of light into the sky. I'm like, oh, that can't be good. And then I see this
Evil
thing
object
coming
world.
towards me through the
makes me think
ground.
that makes me think of that was probably I've come across one
Malfunctioning
that's called a
Understandable.
light bearing planet,
Yeah.
and it's just all these big floaty geysers
Yeah.
with columns of light.
Yeah, do they look kind of like almost like spinning tops of sorts?
Sort of, but they
Yeah.
have like big columns of light coming
Yep.
out of the top of
Yep.
them. Yeah,
Those are what I
those
see.
are cool.
Those are so cool.
I picked up some decorations from those planets.
I
Those
have
are
too.
really
Those
nice.
things are really cool from it then.
Yeah.
There's a lot of neat things on these planets from it then. I'm starting to see a lot of these things get similar from it then, I think just because of the geology, but every single place that I've gone to has been like this is like the inversion of Mass Effect for it. But going back to what initially I said from it then, from here. That topic.
It's like extreme spore.
Yeah. That topic at the very bottom from it then. The Andrew Lloyd Webber commemorative survival hut. that winter planet I landed on. Do you know what the name of the planet was?
What?
Lloyd Beta. So I made a base there, and it was the first thing I could name onto it. And I'm like, I don't know what to name this thing. What's the other planet look like? This is the moon. It should be Lloyd Beta is the moon of a planet called Andrew Prime.
Oh my god.
So when I named the base, I'm like, well, okay, what is something funny I can come up with? Andrew Lloyd Webber. That sounds hilarious. Let's see how far I can stretch the name of this base. And commemorative survival hut was what I came up with. So now somewhere out in the cosmos is the Andrew Lloyd Webber's commemorative survival hut from it then. It is on a frozen planet that's hostile to everything.
I'm situated on a planet that actually I have a really good base, but now I'm kind of thinking I still have to like finish the story, so I might like pack up my base and like go finish the story and then to go like back to my primary system.
Oh man, I can't wait to
And
finish it.
then-
I want to get more into the game because everything I do with it gets more and more interesting.
Oh yeah, like you don't even have to complete. I recommend. I did like a little bit of the Atlas and a little bit of the Artemis, but I'm finishing like the Artemis one. I think so. Like I don't really even know how it goes anymore, but they've updated it. Oh, well, at least not like recently.
When
but,
it goes
like,
to Game
when
Pass, there's going to be another update for it. It's not going to be the living ship. It's going to be the next major one with it, where I think
Yeah.
it's going to be crew versus with it, and I can't wait for
Mhm.
that. Like there's so like just the stuff that I've seen in the game, the fact that I have a dork ship that's really adorable. Like it looks like a Pontiac strapped to a just a rocket. It has like no wings on it.
Oh, is this like one of the okay? Because I primarily I've like stocked up. I had to like stock up on new materials because the living ships use more like obviously like organic metals and materials. So
Mhm.
it's like I grow in my greenhouse in my base. I grow primarily mordite because you need mordite to like fill one of the systems. So I have a ton of it now.
Oh, that's a really cool ship. Yeah, that's one of the one that Matt's trying to get, but he doesn't have it.
So hold on, let me ask.
Yeah,
So,
go on.
So with all those updates and all these things before that they implemented into this game. I'm sorry, but the game is just I feel like it's too late for me. I mean, I can always get it, but like it's just been so late, and it's like for people like me who can't have a sugar daddy to buy me the game.
I mean, there is Game Pass. You have the Game Pass.
Yeah, I do have the Game Pass.
So shut up.
No, I'm not gonna. Hold on. I'm not asking you for the Game Pass. No, for the game. No, I'm not asking. I don't want that. I don't even know if I even want the game. But I'm just saying, like, it's just so late in the game. Everyone else has so much cool shit, and we're like, if I join in, it's gonna be like, oh, well, that's just kind of.
No,
It's
man.
the same thing for Destiny.
No,
I
no,
feel
no,
like
no.
it's just like games like this.
It's not like
people
that. No,
grinding.
don't misinterpret it. Having like cool shit and being like, oh, this is really cool from it then, because the whole point of the game is like exploration. Like cool shit is in design. Most of the things in it are really superficial. Like I have a gun that does like 3 times the amount of damage my other one does, and they're both useless. All right, like almost completely. Like it's not set up to be like that. All right, like if you join in, people can give you materials and stuff like that to help you along. All right, like
Yeah, or if you go in the social space, sometimes you'll get random gifts.
Oh, you'll get more than random gifts. I mean, fuck, I've gone into some places where there's been people from it then, and someone just offloaded like Gravitino balls on me from it. I'm like, oh, this is really cool.
Oh yeah,
And,
like I said,
and then I leave the
just
station and
dropped
my
it for a
ass
day,
is
and
lit
it's
up for no fucking reason by people I've never met. Like, what did I do? Why is everything? What the fuck is that thing? Oh god, no.
like-
Gravitino balls are the biggest fucking scam in that entire game because I ran into it, found one. And I'm like, hey, man,
and
what's
then you
this?
get immediately attacked.
Yeah,
with
no.
sentinels.
Here's the thing. I didn't find one. The first time I found 8 of them, I'm like, hey, Matt, what are these then? Oh, Gravitino balls? Oh, yeah. Go ahead and pick up a few of those for me. I'm like, oh, there's 8 of them. You just need one? He's like, no, just go ahead and pick up a few of those for me. All right, cool. Pick up one.
Well, 'cause
3-star warning.
Normally,
Whoop,
like the planets that
whoop. Oh,
well,
that's
normally
not
the
good.
planets you go on, they're sentinel heavy planets, or they're like most planets that have gravitino balls are already like aggressive sentinel planets. So there's gonna be sentinels everywhere anyway.
See, that's the thing. I didn't know about that. Nobody told me that. Like, this was my first day playing the game. Like,
See,
oh,
that's
I
how
found
that out too, though. 'cause
I found
didn't
these
know what that
things
meant
for it.
either.
Immediately, I'm attacked from it then. But here's the thing. I didn't just pick up one and be like, oh, I should probably touch these anymore. I picked up
You
the
picked
other.
up, like all of them.
I picked up all of them, and it went from 3 to 5. And I was with Matt when the Sentinels were attacking him the one time, and it was like, that was a 3-star warning, and they dropped the walkers on you.
They can follow you
5-star,
out
they
into
drop
space.
fucking elephant tanks on you and follow your ass into space. And I'm like, what the fuck did I
they'll follow
do?
you into space.
Man, what the fuck did I do? I don't have
But-
guns for this.
But did you ever have the pleasure of experiencing what happens if you destroy a whispering egg?
Yeah, I have numerous times because they're fucking expensive and do a shitload of stuff from it.
But the things that pop out when you destroy one do a lot of
The
damage.
fucking horrors, dude.
I've destroyed them. I had to like destroy them on purpose to do like an objective, and I would just destroy one and then hide up on the roof
Mhm.
and then shoot them because they do a ton of damage. Like,
Oh my God.
they're fast.
They do so much damage. They're fast. They do a bunch of damage, and they suck.
And they spit acid at you too.
Yeah, this guy
And
sucks
they'll
so
split
bad.
acid on you.
They spit acid on you. Oh no!
But like it doesn't provide like any
I don't know.
description for them is my gripe. It just says apex predator. Like give me a description.
what do they do? Oh, apex predator from it. Then the eggs themselves are saying like it feels
Yeah,
writhing in your
Chris,
hand. You're like feeling like you should get rid of this as quick as you can. Then like something's wrong with this. Something is wrong
Oh my
with this
god, that
egg.
reminds me. I came across a space anomaly one time, and it like gave me this thing, and
Okay.
it was like, if you keep carrying this around, it'll like affect you. It'll affect your character. So I was like, nope. So I deleted that out of my inventory like
Nope.
immediately because I had it in my inventory, and then I think something happened, and I was like, I looked at the description of it and was like, if you keep this in your possession, like stuff's gonna happen. I'm like,
Nope.
nah. Like I deleted that out of my
Put that
inventory
Put
right
that
away.
immediately into the jettison tube and hit empty.
Yeah. I don't know what it was that I came across though, but I had some of the cool things that I've come across. I've come across this actually several times. Is like the grave of the Ocean King or something.
That I ran into
That's-
that then where
It's so cool, dude.
it's
though.
so cool. The first time I did it though, it's like, hey, you ran into an anomaly, come out of subspace to check it out, and
it's
I
a
did
big,
it.
giant
And the big
skull.
fucking
It's
thing, I'm like, oh, am I
whoa.
fucked or what? What just happened? Oh, it's dead. Cool. Why does something that big exist?
And I've come across basically like a space jellyfish too.
Matt saw that. He told me about it, and he said he could talk to the fucking thing.
Yeah, some of them you can like talk to, but they don't actually provide anything. I think one of the ones that you could talk to was the thing I got that like freaky thing in my inventory from. I got rid of.
It's like there's so many cool
I
things.
can't remember what it was, but I knew it was like it had like a freaky description, so I was like, nope,
Nope.
getting rid of that
And
right now.
do not want. Return back to sender. Do not want. Get that
Basically,
shit out of here.
It was a super freaky description because I was like, yeah, I don't think I want that. I'm actually gonna like try and see if I can like find that. I'm gonna Google like No Man's Sky anomalies.
So many cool ones. The artifacts too are really cool ones with it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to think of another one that's really cool with it. Like the sky artifacts are cool with it. Just being able to run into them with it. There's the fossils, the different kinds of fossils with it.
Yeah, those are cool.
Are really cool. What other things do they have from there then? Because it's just a lot of exploration stuff, and it's like it's all really cool to see and like just do stuff with it.
So, No Man's Sky is just very crazy. I think I wish No Man's Sky was the game it was. It is now, but sure, it is. I wish it was, when it first came out with all the updates, like it is now. But they, I don't know. I just can't.
Like when
I
it
don't
first
really
came
trust-
out, it's what the game was now. That way, it doesn't feel like there's been as many years as been in between it being out to do things.
The whole when the game first came out, you remember like, oh yeah, No Man's Sky came out, and then they're hyped it up,
Mhm.
and it was such a down like poor bad game.
Yeah, but then they realized like they fucked
Well,
up
no,
big
no, no,
time
no,
and they
no,
made
no,
it better.
Here's the thing though. That's the one thing that actually pisses me off. They didn't. They just the CEO, Twitter, like all game platforms were like, we're just gonna give you a refund because this game is fucking shit. It lied to us, everything, and the developers when they're getting bombarded, they didn't do shit. They fucking were silent for 2 months. They didn't say anything about the game. They didn't listen to anyone. They just fucking hid in their hole, waiting for it to pass.
Well, there's so many things that happen with that studio just to like even have the game come out the way it did. Like, I don't know if you remember, like when the game was first on its way out the door, like I want to say maybe a year before its development, like their studio flooded and they almost lost everything for it.
Okay.
All right, like there's a bunch of other
Push
stuff
back
like
the
they got
game.
set back. Yeah, push back the game, and they did that. They pushed back the game twice from it, and Sony was up their ass the whole time. Like, we need to get this out the door. We have a bunch of stuff heavily invested into it. It's like you can't say no,
Okay.
stuff like that.
You know what's
man.
great? You know what's great in a relationship is communication. So how are they gonna the fucking fan base, lack thereof?
Well, I'm gonna
beginning
ask
of
you
the
the
game
next
first-
question then from here with it, because I think this is a good time to kind of segue into that as we kind of like go out for the day with it.
Mhm.
What about us people that stuck with Destiny when it came out as like kind of the flop it was with it, as it got better over time with it, you know?
The flop, the beginning.
Yeah, like
When they first came out, people thought it was great, right? But then
no, when Destiny
as
first came
time
out, people
passed-
were like, it's just all right, and a lot of people were like, there's nothing to this whatsoever.
No, people didn't realize that. Probably I want to say a few months into it, when people realized, well, you can't really do much after you beat it, and you've already maxed out.
It wasn't even that. Like, it was the strenuous work to even get to that point from it. Then it's like, okay, to do the raid, you have to do all this other stuff to level up, and then you have to get items that are exclusively in the raid in order to max out to do the raid easier from it. Then, like, I don't know if you know this from it or remember, but like their inventory that you could save stuff was only 20 slots, and if you deleted something, you never got it back. So if you had an exotic, you fucking held on to that thing for life, even if it was a piece of trash. And they've updated and changed that and made it so much better by giving people more storage space for that they were asking for. Like little things like that. And then other cosmetic stuff being like, can we upgrade our weapons? Because there's some really cool things on here we like, but
people get
can't do
fucked
anything.
over it because they didn't. People were like.
But that's how it
"Oh,
started,
no,
though. That's how it started, and they updated and fixed that with it. And then to even go further with that, then you remember when Sea of Thieves came out?
I also heard like in the beginning the Sentinels were like.
Here's the thing: Sea of Thieves came out how it was.
Yeah, but when Sea of Thieves came out, what could you do in Sea of Thieves?
Explore. That was basically all you could do.
That's it.
It just
There wasn't. There wasn't any adventure. It was just a co-op dig treasure up. That was it.
I mean, I liked it because it was great. Yeah, well, let me ask you this.
I liked it because it was relaxing from it. Then, like if you ran into somebody else, it got
that's the point.
exciting.
I mean, the thing about like the idea of like, oh, Minecraft. Minecraft first started off. What was the whole point?
Minecraft came out was free and was for Java, so everyone could fucking play it if they had a computer.
The point of Minecraft is because you could just relax. That's what I liked about Minecraft. But like, I'm just saying, like for games, like, because you would say what is an endless game? You can come back to it and be like, you know what, still fun. I'm talking about Destiny, where like, if you went back to Destiny 1, is it still fun?
Yeah, Destiny 1 is still very fun right now.
Fuck off the no, I don't care what you say. I don't care about the Hidden King or whatever it's called. Fuck
The
that.
Taken
It's
King?
not like,
It's not even the Taken King anymore. It's Rise of Iron for it then. But yeah,
who gives a
you can
fuck?
go back to it every
I'm
so
bad.
often. It's got fun stuff to it with it. It doesn't have any of the live events anymore. Like oh, this is a really good hand. It doesn't have any of the live events anymore. Like
fucking. There's games
like Trials.
that are fucking like timeless that are fucking good. And Minecraft will always be.
But
that one.
yeah, but Minecraft also worked up to that
Okay, there
though.
we go.
From it then, like it
Like,
came out, it
I
was a
lost
game that was
connection
just
again.
in development the whole entire time, and that stuff eventually got to that point. Like it didn't go on sale for anybody until it had gotten close to that point though. From it, some of these other games needed those couple months and everything else for it. Then it's like it's one of those ones. Like I'll play a game and I'll have problems with it. If there's an improvement or something else onto it, then that makes it better. It's like okay, that's still worthy of coming back to it. From there, there's not a whole bunch of games that do that though, and the ones that do are the ones that I think are shining examples of it. Like Destiny's one of them. No Man's Sky is definitely one of them because I've been playing that nonstop and having nothing but fun just digging up shit with it and making stupid stuff with it. Sea of Thieves is another one that's like that, which I really enjoy from it, and it's got more stuff to it. Like it's one of those ones. It's like, where's the studio improve upon it? Then
I like, but the thing with actually do like the community, and I like the idea like that the developers actually communicate with their
weekly
with the fan base
weekly.
But No Man's Sky, come on, you got a bad game, and then just fucking I have more.
It was a game with nothing in it.
I would have
them saying that we're going to do improvements from it. Then a month after the fact, it was good.
I would give respect to a fucking.
Well, let me put it this way. Let me parse it to you like this. Then from it.
If you understand your faults and your what you've done wrong, then I have more respect for you than hiding behind a wall and fucking saying.
Well, let me parse it like this to you then from here, because the base game for all of those I enjoyed. All right. The problem was the lack of content that came with it. Let's talk about a game that's on the other side of the spectrum for it. Anthem. All right. Anthem had had nothing for it, and they've done nothing with it.
And they will continue to do nothing with it
because it's duty.
Company fucking left, and they are fucking. You know why? You're gonna say like, oh, they try to communicate.
Because BioWare Magic wore off. Ugh. That's what happened.
Okay, why don't we make that a topic for next week?
Kate doesn't want to talk about BioWare.
No, because I'm tired.
I'm tired of your flavorless lack of taste. Anyway,
well, get better audio next time, because it sounds like you're 50 feet away.
Girl, get over here.
Girl, get over here.
Okay. This has been the OnlineAlive
Podcast.
Yeah, have your salty spaghetti and your stretched up
salty spaghetti.
Everyone, this has been OnlineAlive. This has been starring your friendly neighborhood.
Friendly neighborhood Sean.
Don't you say it?
Yeah.
Your friendly neighborhood Sean. Well, that's Sean. I'm Ed.
Your next door neighbor Ed.
And our guest Avery, who has been listening.
Huh?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
You
guys
Okay, bye.
You guys have a good night.
Bye.
Boop.